Every experience in life arrives neutral. The mind is what gives it meaning. Napoleon Hill observed that two people can face the same event, yet walk away with completely different outcomes, simply because they interpret reality through different lenses. While most individuals see obstacles and feel discouraged, those with a success mindset translate the same events as signals, instructions, or opportunities for growth. Interpretation becomes the blueprint that guides action. Consider how someone reacts to a setback. One person sees a dead end, another sees data, direction, and a call to evolve. This difference is not about intelligence or luck. It is about the power of the mind to assign meaning in a way that strengthens rather than weakens. Winners have trained their subconscious mind to interpret challenges as stepping stones. This inner training unlocks motivation, discipline, and a vibration aligned with progress instead of defeat. There comes a moment when a person realizes that reality is not fixed, it is filtered, and the filter determines their destiny. By choosing to reinterpret experiences through clarity, purpose, and inner strength, an individual awakens a higher level of consciousness, one that shifts them into the driver's seat of their own life. And once this understanding becomes clear, another distinction emerges. Winners do not rely on luck, they rely on cause. There is a quiet divide in the way people explain their outcomes. Many attribute everything to luck, timing, or external blessings, believing that success arrives like a random wind that chooses a few and ignores the rest. Hill saw through this illusion. He noticed that winners trace results back to causes, specific thoughts, disciplined actions, and deliberate decisions. They treat success as something engineered, not something granted. Observe how the average person speaks. They say things like, "If I'm lucky, things will improve," placing their future in the hands of chance. But winners speak differently. Their language reflects responsibility, not hopefulness. They say, "If I take the right steps, things will improve." This shift may seem small, yet it transforms the entire mindset. Cause becomes the engine, and luck becomes the byproduct of aligned behavior and consistent action. Once a person understands that luck is not a strategy but a consequence, their entire approach to life changes. Thought frequency becomes intentional, decisions become sharper, and their inner vibration aligns with the outcomes they seek. This is the mental code Hill admired, the ability to create rather than wait. And with that foundation established, another principle of the winner's mind begins to surface: the habit of focusing only on what can be controlled. Some minds scatter their energy everywhere, chasing what they cannot influence, while others conserve their power by directing attention only toward what truly matters. Hill viewed this distinction as one of the clearest markers of a wealthy mindset. People who struggle often invest their emotional fuel in circumstances, opinions, or events beyond their reach. Winners, in contrast, pour that same energy into decisions, actions, discipline, and attitude, the elements they command completely. Imagine someone trying to steer a ship by controlling the ocean instead of the wheel. That's how most people live, reacting to waves, storms, and unpredictable winds. But winners know the sea is never fully under control. What matters is how firmly they hold the wheel. Their focus sharpens, their productivity rises, and their path becomes intentional rather than chaotic. This inner discipline strengthens the subconscious mind and aligns thought frequency with forward movement instead of frustration. Once a person experiences the clarity that comes from focusing only on controllable forces, they begin to operate from a higher identity, one that does not crumble when the world shifts. They observe reality without losing themselves in it. They act with purpose instead of reacting from fear. And as this shift takes root, another part of Hill's mental code becomes impossible to ignore: the idea that identity must evolve before behavior ever can. Every lasting transformation begins long before behavior changes. It begins in the quiet, unseen space of identity. Hill emphasized that people act in harmony with who they believe they are, not with who they wish to become. That's why ordinary individuals try to force new habits, but eventually fall back into old patterns. Their self-image has not evolved to support the new behavior. Winners understand this psychological truth and build their identity before demanding results from themselves. Picture someone who wants discipline, but deep down still sees themselves as inconsistent. No strategy, no planner, no motivational surge will override that internal definition. Identity sets the ceiling. Winners approach change from the inside out. They ask who they must become, not what they must do. Once that inner identity shifts, actions become natural, almost effortless. The subconscious mind aligns with the new vision, reinforcing motivation, confidence, and direction. When a person embraces a higher identity, their entire relationship with the world transforms. They no longer chase habits. Habits emerge from who they are becoming. They no longer fight for confidence. Confidence grows from alignment. They no longer fear action. Action becomes the expression of their new self. This is why Hill saw identity as the foundation of the mental code. And with this foundation in place, a new pattern shows up consistently among winners. They move quickly. There is a distinct rhythm in the way winners move through life. They do not wait for perfect clarity, nor do they analyze themselves to exhaustion. Instead, they make decisions quickly and adjust slowly, giving themselves the most valuable advantage in the world: momentum. Hill believed that hesitation is the silent assassin of ambition. When a person delays action, their energy fades and their subconscious mind begins to reinforce doubt instead of belief. Think of how dramatically life changes when someone commits instantly. A fast decision sends a message to the mind that the goal matters, that progress is expected, and that fear is not in control. This triggers a shift in thought frequency, sharpening focus and unlocking creative solutions that would never appear in a passive state. People who move quickly discover that opportunities open not because they were prepared for them, but because they arrived in motion. Momentum is a force that builds on itself. One step creates the confidence for the next, and the cycle compounds. Winners know that slow decisions drain vitality, while rapid action invites both growth and clarity. They learn through movement, not speculation. And as soon as this principle becomes part of someone's mental code, another insight surfaces, remarkable in its simplicity, yet powerful in its execution. Thinking is not enough unless it is directed. Winners do not drift through their thoughts, they direct them with intention. Hill distinguished this clearly. Positive thinking alone is not enough. What truly transforms a person is thinking with purpose, with direction, with a mental attitude sharpened toward an outcome. PMA, for Hill, was not